According to the New York Times, for President Obama, this was a pretty tough call. It's like a 51-49 call. Do you overthrow Gaddafi, who, of course, was a horrific dictator? But the New York Times told us it was Secretary Clinton who led the effort for that regime change. And this is the same type of mentality that supported the war in Iraq. Look, Gaddafi, Saddam Hussein are brutal, murdering thugs. No debate about that. But what we have got to do, and what the president was saying, is we didn't think thoroughly about what happens the day after you get rid of these dictators. Regime change often has unintended consequences. In Iraq and in Libya right now, where ISIS has a very dangerous foothold. And I think if you study the whole history of American involvement in regime change, you see that quite often.
Secretary, we're going to let you respond.
Yes, well, I would just point out that there was a vote in the Senate as to whether or not the United States should support the efforts by the Libyan people to protect themselves against the threats, the genocidal threats coming from Gaddafi, and whether we should go to the United Nations to seek Security Council support. Senator Sanders voted for that, and that's exactly what we did.
No.
We went to the United Nations. Yes, he did. We went to the United Nations Security Council. We got support from the Security Council, and we then supported the efforts of our European and Arab allies and partners. This was a request made to our government by the Europeans and by the Arabs because of their great fear of what chaos in Syria would do to them. And if you want to know what chaos does, not just to the people inside, but the people on the borders, look at Syria. Nobody stood up to Assad and removed him, and we have had a far greater disaster in Syria that we are currently dealing with right now.
Senator, go ahead.